So here it is. I usually drop a hammer right here. That way when it opens, it drops on somebody sometimes. So there we go. And we're just leeching back our health. And we're just jumping along, having a good time. If I see a hand, I jump over to it and jump on it. There. Hello and welcome back to Path of Exile 2. This video is going to be a detailed guide for new players generally, but for veterans too, veterans of 2 weeks. And it's going to explain how to get your health up to 6,200-ish, this shield up to 2,100, which also goes to 4,200 when you're playing out in the field. And I've played a Titan to 89, and this guy's level 61, or not 61, 91. Also this fire, I just swapped out a piece of gear. My fire went from capped to not capped. I'm going to fix that later. It's not going to be a big deal for this. So, let's do a quick demo, and then I'm going to do the full demo, or the full explanation of the passive tree, the jewels, everything, the skills. It's all going to be pretty simple, and we're going to go fast and fun. So let's do it. I have progressed my bossing passive skill tree all the way up to difficulty 4, and I'm about to get difficulty 5, I hope. Let's take a look where we're going to do that. This node right here has the boss, plus it's erupted, plus it's irradiated. I think that'll pull it off of, if I put a Tier 16 map in here, it should work. I've got one ready for it. So I'm going to do that later. And then we're going to do a breach. There's a breach over here. And it's a good wide open area. I like having those with wide open areas. Let's go do this one. I love breaches. They're a lot of fun, especially with this character. Let's do it. Jump right in. And we're going to go into super detail. I'm trying to explain everything. Some people are having a hard time getting this to work. And I don't know what else. If you follow every step, it should just work. It should just explode everything like this. I would suggest playing a Gemling over the Titan right now until they give some love to the Titan class. GGG does. But this is easy. Right now we're at 4,200 energy shield and 6,200 life. So it's just smooth. I'm not going to mess with that expedition. They're slow. I don't like sitting there clicking everything. I just want to fight. Let's go find it. Let's roll this one real quick. Items, that's cool. Volatile crags, whatever. And let's open it up. Come on. I'll be right back. These things are slow too. I mean, they just open so slow. They demoed it during the demo and it was slow, and they said, oh no, we made it faster. I'm like, that's just slow opening. Let's drop a hammer on that guy. Did I hit him? Yep. Nice. Easy stuff. Jump back over here. Roll around the corner. These fireball things. Now, I only have 66 on my resist. It should be 75. Could be a little higher than that, actually. But, oh well. Let's see, can I tank that? Yeah, no problem. Alright, I'll be right back. There. I mean, these just open really slow. It's not you can't make them go faster. It's just they open slow. See those little white feather things? Those are the things that every one of them give me about 200 energy shield back that pop up, and I just go near them or I ignore them or whatever the case may be. I think that's EXP. Yeah. So here it is. I usually drop a hammer right here. That way when it opens, it drops on somebody sometimes. So there we go. And we're just leeching back our health, and we're just jumping along, having a good time. If I see a hand, I jump over to it and jump on it. There we go. I'm going to try to go and stay with the edge of the circle. I don't know if I'm doing it's around here somewhere. Get away from the things. Oh boy. Come on. There's the edge. You want to kind of ride the edge of the circle if possible. Come on. Not too many hands that time. Oh, there's a hand. Nice. Just jump along. I don't really pay attention to what's on the screen as far as... Oh, there's a... Try to hit those. Oh, here's a big guy. Let's see if we can get him down before the collapse. Yes, we did. Nice. Anything else over here? Not bad. an okay one, nothing fancy. And I edited the filter, the NeverSync filter, to make the breach splinters font level 45 so that they're easier to click. I just didn't like having to click the small ones. And I uploaded a video of this guy doing a boss too, a tier 18 difficulty 3 or difficulty 4 boss, and it was not a problem at all. And he didn't even have the gear that he has now. It's just this is just a really relaxing build. I like it a lot, and let's get into it and show you how to do it. This guy, it doesn't even matter that he's exploding like that. Tough guy though, nice. And these guys don't matter because you can run in this stuff and it doesn't even matter. The mana siphoner thing doesn't hurt us because we don't use mana. And the other thing is this build can be improved dramatically. We're not even using a 212 base strength weapon. There's a lot of room for improvement by far. The last Mobilytic link that I did showed all the gear that was very cheap, easy to get, didn't cost divines. And this build cost 12 to 15 divines, whereas the last build cost maybe 5 divines. The weapon was about 3 at the time. So, yeah, it's a lot easier. This next link I'll have to make will show the 15-ish build design cost. Now, you don't have to get every piece at the same time. In fact, you could go without this, and it'll still work. It'll just have less life. Let's see. I had a weapon or a shield. What was my shield before? Let's see. Gum tank. This was my shield before, and I decided to get this, and I decided to put life in here because it multiplies it by 600%. So that should be 12% life and 12% life. We'll see if it actually pans out. 60-100, and you know what's weird is it doesn't affect this energy shield as much as it should. Only a tiny little bit. Maybe I have energy shield from this now. I don't know. The defenses? Maybe it's a defensive? No, I don't know. But this gives 60-100 life. That's 54 for 600 life. So actually, you know, this one might be a better option for me. And then swap something into something here, because this is fine, but 6200 is nice too. Alright, so let's go over all the gear. I'm going to hover and explain the important parts of it. See how this weapon has accuracy? I don't use accuracy because I use Resolute Technique, which is a passive on the tree that makes it so I don't need accuracy. It's just a 100% hit rate. So that's a wasted mod. There's a 3 to 5 wasted mod, but this is a hard weapon for me to replace. It's got the +6 and some attack speed. The +6 to the melee is really, really nice. The gain life on per kill, I don't need that because I use leech here and leech here. And we can pull up like a leap slam when I'm hitting all those creatures. Here's the leap slam. And this number is deceiving. It's actually much higher than that because you have stuff like, where is it? Let's see. Vitality, that counts. Martial tempo. Oh, isn't there a distance one I have on here? Magnified momentum. Oh, the 2 meters. So most of the time I go 2 meters. So that should be a more multiplier on this number, but it doesn't show up on the thing. This is just, depending on what skills you have in here, this number won't change. All right, so the leech on effect right here, 29%. And it's just, and it doesn't stop when it's full too. I'll show you that on the tree. So meaning even if I've leeched 7,000, if it fills up and somebody hits me afterwards, the leech still continues from that. So it's a really, really good effect. That's how I can stay alive in those big crowds, and it doesn't matter. That's how I can fight big bosses, and it doesn't matter. I just face tank everything down. And that's because of the life leech there and the life leech here. Now I might bail out of one of those and test it to see if just one, like 8% life leech. Let's see what that would reduce us down to. 15%. Would that be okay? I don't know. I could test it, but so far that's what we've got. Okay, that. So the Mobilytics link will allow you to look at each piece without me hovering over them. So then the ring has, you're going to have to balance your resistances yourself because every piece of gear is going to have resistances in different places. what I wanted on here was strength, life, and leech. And then you can do whatever else you want in there. Resists or whatever you want. But the lightning damage doesn't help me, and the chaos damage doesn't help me. But I needed a big lightning ring, and this was only like 2 exalts, so I just slapped it in here to make it work for now. But I'll be improving this. So again, strength, life, there's accuracy, doesn't need lightning damage, doesn't need that. The resist all is good. And then here we went with Titanic. If I hover over it and press Alt, I can go like this, and it tells it it's +5 strength. The stun threshold is okay, and then the stun buildup is nice. You can also pin these things. If you're comparing 2 items, let's say you've got another item and you want to compare it without just instead of going back and forth, you can pin this and just look at the 2 items and say, oh, okay, this is better or worse. Just easier to do. The helm. This is the helm that, see how it says 28% of your maximum life as extra maximum energy shield. This might get nerfed. I suspect it will. There's some that out there that can get 36% of your maximum life. So I could get this up to maybe closer to 3,000, doubling up to 6,000 on my energy shield. So yeah, this is interesting to say the least. And I put the resist all in there. The resist all, I wish I'd started using those more often instead of a fire one or something like that. The resist all is just nicer. It makes it easier to hit your resists. Smooths things out, for me at least. I think this will get nerfed. If it does, I'll just go back to a regular helm, and then I can get rid of Grim Feast. And I don't. This is okay, but I'd rather have. I could put a helm on here and get this 6,100 life up to maybe a helm with a lot of strength. I can get this up to 6,500, maybe 6,600. So I don't mind if I lose this, but we'll see what they do if they nerf this or not. So far, so good. This also is pretty cheap. You can get it for 1 or 2 divines, and then I got one with the max life and global defenses. Now, if I take this off, watch what happens. That's a big chunk. 800 plus another 800, so 800 life and 800 energy shield drops off. What did I put in here? Oh, chaos resistance. Bunch of chaos resistance in here. Nice. Let's keep going. The shield, I showed that earlier. It multiplies the effect of these 2 gems. And there's a rumor that it also takes into account these other ones. I don't think it doesn't. I mean, yeah, it just goes up by 12%. If it did, it would be it would multiply all these out, and I would have 6 times that on all these. I don't know. It doesn't do that. Maybe it did for some people, but not for me. The boots, I'd like to improve to a 30% move speed and more life, strength, and that. So I've got stuff to work there. But the boots, just get strength, life, and then movement speed, and then balance out your resist as best you can. Same theme here as you're noticing. Here, I went with, what was it, strength, and then I just had to balance out my resists, and then whatever else I got. Now, I would love the one that said 20% of your flask gets returned to you. That'd be cool. It's instant, but I didn't get it, and I don't need it, so it's just a luxury. I'd also like to get a 2 slaughter thing in here, but I just haven't found it with the resist balancing it. It's just a tricky thing to balance. So even I'm having issues still, but I'll get there. This one right here. Oh, this. Don't forget to get at least +1, probably +2 if you can find one with the melee skills. You're going to get melee skills here. Melee skill on your glove is a must. It really is. A minimum 1, hopefully a 2, and then some attack speed, strength, and life. And you notice that's what I got on there. And then if I can get something else, cool. If I can't, then I just can't. Same thing, +6. +5 is okay, but +6 is crucial. It really is. It beats almost everything else on there. So, and then the weaponist, is most likely going to need increased physical damage under the percentage thing. That's what gets that number up to 578. Now, if you're using a 212 weapon with Giant's Blood, see how that says 174? The next tier up requires 212 multiplied by 3 is a 636 strength. And what are we sitting at right now? 575. I can get that higher. Just by going with a swapping out the shield, I could get that higher, or there's some strength nodes I can take as well. But I can hit 636 fairly easily now, and then I could get the next weapon. The thing is, the next weapons are really expensive. 10 divine up, 15, 20 divine, so it's tough. I just use a gold charm here. It gives me a little bit of rarity for when I kill a boss, or not a boss, yeah, boss or a rare. So I mean, it's something. So I think this is it. Now there is some tech, some kind of cheesy tech, where on your tree you can have, you know how when you're spending your points up here, I spent them as just normal points, but you were to do something like this. Let's say, like this, you could have a second tree devoted to bossing, and you'd move your shield over and your thing over here and just change it into this one. Instead of actually weapon swapping, what you're doing is tree swapping manually. And then what would happen is, on your tree, you would get away from AoE if you're doing a boss, and your other tree, your weapon set 2, would focus more on close combat type stuff like this. So I think I'll do a video on that next or eventually, but right now I don't need to. It's just I don't feel like making 2 trees and doing this, but it probably is very worth it. You could probably get your damage up 50% on bosses doing that. You don't need a big AoE generally at all, so you could just focus purely on that and have 24 points for mapping, and then the other 24 points dedicated to just smashing a boss. That'd be pretty cool. Something like maybe in here, get aftershocks, that more damage right there, instead of just the AoE stuff, because I've got a lot of AoE over here too. All right, I think this wraps up the gear wise. I think we covered everything. The strength, life, resists, get your attack speed and your melee damage here. The melee skills here and here and here. And that's it. And I'll let you look at the link in the Mobalytics. But you can pause it at any time on this stuff. Good to go. Okay. All right. Next up, the passive tree. Let's do that. Now, the reason why I say you could do this as a Titan or a Gemling is because the only difference is the Gemling wouldn't, or the Titan would not be able to use Grim Feast. And the Grim Feast is what makes those little white feathers appear and give me a quicker refill and overflow of my energy shield. So if you didn't care about that, you could go for the warrior. You're going to have more damage in the same AoE, the same all that kind of stuff, because the warrior, all he does is he starts right here and he comes this way. Well, the warrior doesn't have to go and do all of this. This whole stretch doesn't have to be done by the warrior. So yeah, and the damage is better too, because his small nodes, like this one right here, gives 22% damage instead of 15. So the warrior ends up with more damage, not as tanky. I'm way more tanky on here, and I don't need the damage, so I prefer right now using my Gemling. But you can do a warrior Titan with this build, and you'll be in good shape. It's just squishier, a little squishier. I didn't like that part of it. I like being lazy and just hopping around and doing it that way. Okay, so I'm going to explain it from this perspective, the Gemling perspective. What does it give us here? The attributes on gems, which is that the gem skill that I'm using, the Grim Feast, which feeds my energy shield. It's like 160 or 180 int requirement. Well, I can't get that on my warrior. So, but this allows me to use it because it uses my strength stat to meet that requirement. Then I come up here, and this is where things start to take off. All the strength, instead of getting 10 life per 5 strength on your tree, like right here, right there, that would give you 10 life. This one gives you 20 life per strength, or 4 life per strength, and versus 2. It doubles it. Nice. And then the skill, this is not that cool. I don't like this one that much. It's okay. It's not that great. Ideally, I want to get through here and here, and then either take the +1 to all skills or get tankier this way. But this will make it so that it should. I don't know if this is bugged or not, but I've tried it a few times and it doesn't seem to actually lower the attribute requirements of equipment and skill gems. It just doesn't. The equipment, I try to put some equipment on and it should reduce it, and it just doesn't. I've clicked into here and it doesn't change the number at all. So I'll test it once I get the 4th Ascendancy. I don't even have the 4th Ascendancy on here, and then we'll see. If I do, it'll just give me some more damage, which is cool, or more tankiness. A nice option to have. And we'll have 3 more skill slots. I'll just throw whatever in there, and and I'll just load it up here. It should give you about 4 to your cap, to your resistance caps. So you're looking at, instead of a baseline of 75, you're looking at a baseline of 79. That's a big difference, especially over here. I get this one +1 to every, so I'll be at +80. So it'll be a really nice thing. +80 is a big chunk. That's 20% less damage that you're taking from all the elements. Nice. All right, so on this one, I just grab this. It's nice to grab. I come down through here. I grab that one for some strength, and then for some what do you call it? Regen. Don't really care about armor at all. Armor's just bad. How much armor do I have on this character? There is 36. Just, they need to fix the armor stat. Right now, armor is terrible. Not that my armor is terrible. The armor stat and what it actually does is terrible. So the bang for your buck is horrible. So I don't invest in it. And then you just come over this way, grab in here, come down here, and at this point, let's say you're leveling this guy up, because I leveled this guy up purely by himself. Didn't use the other gear either until I got into maps. Then I swapped over to my old gear. You can level up with Leap Slam, no problem. It was easy, super easy actually, and Leap Slam and Rolling Slam. So you come down here. If you're having accuracy issues, just click this as you're working your way over. Click that. That's Resolute technique. It's cool. It gets rid of your accuracy. You don't have to have any accuracy at all, and you'll be at 100% on your hit rate. Otherwise, if you don't have that, you're going to need more and more accuracy to keep your hit rate up. We come over this way, and then the key to this is blood magic. It makes the game so much easier as a melee because I don't have to worry about this. My Leap Slam costs me 588 life. That would be 588 mana when you only have like 600 or 700, and yeah, it's brutal. Yeah, I don't want to hear the term you can't do that yet as a Leap Slammer, because I'm surrounded by 50 creatures and I want to jump in the air and I can't. Well, that's not good. You would perish there. So this makes it so you don't. And then at this point, you could come down. So now you've got this as you're leveling up. You've come across here. You've got into here. Now you have your options. You can go into AoE. You can go into damage. Lots of damage through here. Damage. Damage. Now the strength thing comes from this jewel, and I'll go over jewels at the end. This jewel was 3 divine last night, so not bad at all. I could get a better one. I want a 4% strength one. I think those are out there. Yeah, so you can just do all that. At this point, once you get your Giant's Blood, because Giant's Blood allows you to use a 2-hander with a shield. Otherwise, you just use a shield up, or a 2-hander up to that point. Yeah, that's your options. And then So you're sitting there and you're thinking, oh, I can do some more AoE, and you can work. You know, you can take some AoE, take it back away. I've allocated this and unallocated it as I need. If I'm close to a cool node, I'll unallocate these and use them or not. Sometimes I go down over here if I want some regen. This is kind of fun. This is a chunky regen. And then you come down this way. This is easy to take once you have blood magic, because there's no reduced maximum. It doesn't matter. I have 0, so it doesn't hurt. You can take all of these. 12 strength. That's great. This one's per 600 strength, so you're looking at 40% increased damage. Nice. Not more damage, but it's increased. And then I just come right over here. And we go all the way over here, and this is where we start getting into our attributes thing. Here's a 10% increase to all attributes. Very, very cool. Very powerful. And then if you want, you come down this way and you make your loop. This is where the unreserved thing is for your life leech. And that means if I've got like a 7,000 leech going and I'm right here, it'll still continue in the background. It won't go over my 6,000, but if I'm getting hit, it'll keep going. Otherwise, normally once your life leech hits and you're back to full, it turns it off. It kills it. Done. Well, this allows it to keep going in the background just in case you get hit in that 1 second. This one's nice. 40% increased damage. Very nice. I like it. Reduced maximum life. Oof. Oh well. Turn that off and get more damage or more life. We're okay. AoE's through here. AoE. This build has 7 jewel sockets in it too at this point. As you get into 91, you'll have 7, as you work your way over here and up here, you'll have 7 of these. I'll go over jewels at the end. See, that has Warcry speed. I gotta replace that. There's so many things that I have to replace. Oh boy. But it's still good. This one should be good, right? Life regen, Mace's leech, and global fizz. Yeah. What about this one? Life regen, that's not that great. Increased, Mace's ignite, and what about this one? Come on, something be good there. Ignite, increased damage. Am I even using a fire base on my light? I've been swapping that back and forth. Let's see. 1 second. I am not doing it, but I used to be I used to have some fire on there, so I can get rid of those ignites and switch to something else. So I've got work to do on this character, but it's still really nice. Oh, you get some life here. Increased life. Now let's go over the jewels. So I've got to change these away from ignite. Maybe there's not that many. Once you go, you only get 2 prefixes. Let's see, if I hold down Alt, the prefixes are area of effect and mace damage now, and then you get the other one. So I probably will go with the increased leech on all of them, and then maybe that I can get that number up high enough to where I can only use one. I'll only have to use 1 ring and have about a 20% life leech. I think that would work, and then it would free up one of the slots on the suffix, and I could get a better set of suffixes and no ignite on there. But you're gonna need either mace damage, global damage, or there's another one. I think melee damage is the other one. Let's see, is there a melee damage on here? There's a global with mace. I like that one. Life regen and leech. That's a good. That one helps me across the board. I like that one. So that's what I'd be looking for, but it's really hard to find. It's hard to find what you need with all those. And then on top of that, once I get all these, then I start have to finding duplicates of them, and then start voling them and hope to get a good vol result when I vol orb them. Now to explain 2 things. Your Anoint, which is up here, which you use the distilled items, those distilled things, and let's do it right now. Titanic. See, if you hold this down on certain nodes, it'll tell you to use a despair, paranoia, and guilt. And then you can anoint that node and its abilities onto your amulet. So if we go into here under my dump tab, there. So if I have a despair, whatever those 3 were, I right click, it brings up this interface. You put them in the order that they're supposed to go in, like that, and that, and then you drop this thing in here. and then it says anoint, and you can anoint it and put it on there. And you should be able to overwrite them, but you can't anoint a corrupted item right now. So don't buy a corrupted item if you want to anoint it. So, which I've done before accidentally, I forget, and I go, oh no. That's how you anoint your items, and then you can pick which one. I went with strength, of course. And lastly, we're going to cover this gem, jewel. These are hard to search. There's no easy way to search for them right now. In PoE 1, they added the ability to search for certain ones to say, hey, I want notable passive skills in the radius of this thing for the increased strength. So I just had to search and search and search for this, and I ended up with this one. I don't really like the cold resist on there, but I'm probably over capped on cold a little bit. So that's okay-ish. I'm over capped on lightning, so I can just, maybe a different ring without the lightning that I put on there. And then a fire lightning type ring would be fine. And that'll address this. But this is the big thing. In this radius, any of the notables, if we hover over it, see it says 3% increased strength. If I take that off, 526 and 5800. I put this on 575, 6100, and this is only going to get better once I start stacking strength even more. So this is a really nice one to have in there, and I just tossed it on there. And it was either 2 or 3 divine. You can get them for 2 divine, but it might not have the other one that you want, or a 2%er or something like that. But this is okay. If I wanted to, I could also get this strength node, or this node right here, and that would apply to it as well. But so far it's just taking it from this one, 3% strength, 3% strength, 3% strength. And then all these little mini nodes, where is it? These nodes, not the travel nodes, but these nodes get the 2% of the, what do you call it? Cold resistance. This one, this one, this one, and this one, which is okay. And then my cold resist is over too. It's 78 versus 75. So I think this pretty much covers all these. So I still have strength here to get. Nice. Yep, the next 2 levels I'll probably get this and this, and then I'll start either focusing on a 212 weapon. We'll see. But there's a lot of flexibility in what you want to do, but having all these jewels is really nice. Pretty much covers it. So when you're leveling up, work your way down here, get this, Resolute Technique, this, Blood Magic, anoint your amulet if you can with a cheap anoint. Some of them will cost less than an exalt to anoint it, and then get a good ignite. This one costs probably like 20x to anoint, the more expensive one. Just hold down Alt, and then Blood Magic, or Giant's Blood. And then the rest is up to you. AoE, leech, damage. That's what you're looking for. And strength nodes. I don't do the armor. I don't even bother with this armor node here. Strength. I want strength. So that's how you do it. Pretty easy. Nothing fancy there. What did we cover? We covered gear. We've covered the passive tree. We can take a look at the Atlas tree. I've been messing around with this, but basically it's all Waystone related. A lot of Waystone related stuff, and increasing the amount of rares and the pack size of creatures in general, just to drop more stuff. What else did I grab? Some rarity through here. Rarity. Waystones. Higher tier Waystones. Very nice, very nice. And then this, I just started working my way up. I went with the rarity of the boss drops, the Waystones, and then strong boxes. These are the shrines are not that great. They don't last very long, and they're not that great. But I could guarantee a shrine in every map boss area. Essences. I went with that one. And every time you have these and you're leveling them up, you got to be in a... Let's take a look at the map. when you're doing these, you have to run a tier 16. Here's a tier 16. You vol a regular tier 15 with a vol orb. So you vol the tier 15 once it's, you know, you juice it up. Like I go like this. I'll elk this one. And then I'll vol it. Now sometimes if you get a really bad result, the vol could remove the bad result. And then hopefully it turns it into a tier 16. But in this case, I'll just deal with whatever it gave me. That's not that monsters take reduced damage. That doesn't matter. Break armor, that's no fun. So I'll have to be a little careful with that, with the break armor thing. Otherwise they can break what little armor I have, so it's not that bad actually. And then rarity's fine. Yeah, that's not a bad map. I'll do that one. And then if you get your tier 16, then you run it, and we'll take a look at the map real quick. And this is how you advance that. What you want to look for is, this is ridiculous. This one has all the things in it. What you want to look for is a boss node. If I click this means a boss node. You also want it to be corrupted and have the irradiated. So you irradiate the area. Hopefully the boss spawns in with this corrupted, which raises it one level. And then you're going to fight them. A tier 16 dropped in there. That should unlock the next level, the next tier up, and then you can spend points. I'm going to press for my last 2 points, I think, that I get out of there. I don't know how many points it'll give you. Let's take a look real quick again. 8 of 10, so I'll get 2 more points if I complete this one, I hope. And then I'll probably go with the corrupted thing. What is this? Experience? Nah. That's what I'll do. Alright, so we've covered gear. Gotta cover the skill gems. Let's do that next. Alright, for our skill gems, this number isn't going to really show you the full deal. Because, for instance, let's see... Where is it? Close combat. It doesn't know if the creature is close enough, so it won't figure into this number. So what I have is, let's go over... I don't... Some people use Mace Strike with AoE hits, and they have a great time with this. It hits for a lot, but I just don't bother with it. So, Leap Slam. I've got quality up, so that if I do break some armor on it, it'll do more damage to things that have broken armor on them. Very rarely, though. I think my hammer is the only thing that breaks some armor, which is a lot. And then Martial Tempo makes you move faster. If you want, take more attack speed on the tree. There's a little node that you can get there with attack speed if you search for it. You can get more attack speed on there to make the Leap Slam feel better. Instead of leaping oomph, 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 maybe you go oomph, 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 a little faster. Hopefully they'll address these light, slow, two-handed mace play to make it even more fun. We'll see what they do in the future. Heft, nice. Momentum. If you move more than 2 meters, which is a very short distance, like this to this, distance-wise, it's not very far. You get 40% more damage. This makes the AoE bigger, and this is just flat-out brutality. Now, what it does is, if I do have any lightning... Let's say I had a bunch of fire and lightning damage on this for some reason, or I was doing fire infusion, that would cancel that out, and it would cancel out any fire or, damage that I'm doing directly. It doesn't cancel out my ignites. It doesn't cancel out my explosions, because that comes from Herald of Ash. So there we go. Down to rolling slam. All I do is execute. When it gets low on health, it more damage. That's a multiplier too. So it's not an increase, it's a more. Dramatically better. So that doesn't get calculated into this number. Ancestry boosted. I just threw that in there. We don't have a lot of things to choose from. 20% more damage and AoE every 6 seconds. So I threw that on there. Close combat, I am generally close when I'm doing rolling slam, so yes, that counts. And then fire infusion, just some extra damage on there. Let's see if it actually it calculates it out. There we go. And then rage. This won't show up in this number either, because I'll have 30 rage, and rage gives you, what was it? Rage gained, let's see, 1 sec. More attack damage. So that's a multiplier as well. So when I have 30, we're looking at 70% more damage on top of all this. And close combat, 100%, you're doubling this. And then not only that, if we go here and our second slam does a more multiplier on heavily stunned creatures. So that's when you're getting really big hits. It's just fun that way. I like it. Although I wouldn't be opposed to trying this out. You can do it. Then we have Hammer of... Oh, and you got to do the quality these up with the Gem Cutter's Prisms. I just do them on everything. And this is a level 19 gem. 8 levels from my modifiers. 6 here, 1 there, and 1 there makes 8. That's a 27 gem or thing. So if I get a 2 and a 2 here, that'd be great. That would pull up. That would add an increase of about 60% increased damage. Not a multiplier though, but an increase across the board on all melee hits. So that would be important to get, but it's tough to find them. All right, Hammer of the Gods. Second wind, that gives me the 2. Normally, if you take this out, you can only use it once. This one, I can use it twice, but it makes the cooldown longer. This is okay because we have Heavy Swing. That just does a more multiplier. I don't care that it takes longer to fire that one up because I don't use it very often. This is the Break Armor thing. And then this one, supported skills break 40% more armor. So I could probably do even a better combo on here if I just looked around and messed around with some of the things on there. The support gems. Now we're going to cover that is. What's going to really help is this. If I get this one, 2 copies of the same support gem, then I can start using Brutality on 2 things and not have to worry about that. It'll make support gems. I can use 2 copies instead of just being limited to 1. I can use a second copy on a different support skill. So that'll be a lot nicer once we get there. I'll leave this up over here. Okay. Grim Feast. It costs 30 spirit. If I have all this energy shield, I want it to come back. Now I've qualitied it up. It's at 32% because of my skill tree over there right now, but 20% is normal. And then Cannibalism works with it. And then Herbalism just makes this some more, it goes up by, what is that, 30%? Yeah, 30% increase from this one. It would be nice if it showed it when you put it there. So then you right click to turn it on and turn it off. And what this does is it requires that 209 energy per those white feather things that you pick up, and there's a 50% chance to spawn them. So it's great. It really keeps this up. This is when I'm mapping, and this is up at 4,200 quite often. My energy shield, it's nice to have. So I run with this and Herald of Ash. Now, if you don't have that, you could do maybe Blasphemy, but not a Blasphemy at that level because that's a 178. You could do maybe Persistence. If you're a Titan, because the int requirement is too tough. I'm a Gemling, so on this guy. But you do Herald of Ash, and then if you can't do this one, just run one other spirit gem with whatever you can get in there. The vulnerability, if you can fit that in somehow, maybe a lower level. This is an 18. You might be able to pull it off with a lower level one, and that's 60. It would be close. But if you can get vulnerability, I think I had that on my warrior. I'm not sure. I'd have to look into it. But this is really important for this build with the Aziri helm. With that helm. With Grim Feast. They might nerf this. That's okay. I'll just use a different helm and I'll swap over to a different thing. I'll be fine. Herald, this is what gives those big explosions. Herald of Ash. Quality it up. And then I put on here Fire Mastery, an extra level. Persistence. I don't even know if that does anything. I could probably put something else. I could put something and mix it in. Maybe if there's something else, eventually something else on here, but that works. Nice. Shield Charge. We have Shield Charge with Life Thief, so it's it leeches 6% just extra, so that's fun. But then I put Bludgeon on there and knocks some enemies back, and then I put the Ingenuity. That cooldown reduction thing is important to have on there. Because it makes me, this is, and quality it up to 20. So my shield charge is, what's the cooldown? 1.92 seconds versus a normal one would be, I don't know, like 2.5 seconds. So it's noticeable, but it would be nice if it was down to 1 second. That'd be cool. All right. So shield charge, blasphemy. If you can run blasphemy with vulnerability, that's another option. If you don't have the Itziri helm and you want to go that way, then I would go with this combo. Quality it up and then put your vulnerability on there. I still have 10 spirit left over too, so somehow if I got a spirit, like a 15 spirit on the amulet, then I'd have 25. Maybe I could work something else into this. That'd be cool. But so far so good. So that covers the gems. Quality them up if possible. It costs about 8 exalts right now total to get 4 prisms, and then use your prism jewels right here. Let's show you how to quality those things. Do I have one? Yep, right here. Just use these. If you don't have them, buy them off of Alva at the currency exchange for 2 exalts a piece. About nice. So I think we've covered all that. Have we covered everything? Skills, jumping around. There's other ways to build this. I just have fun with this. Some people like Stampede. Some people like other things. If I've left something out, I'll put it in the description. I don't think I have, but this is a lot to talk about, so maybe I have. I don't know. I'll put it in the description. The Mobalytics link, I'll work on that next. There'll be chapters down at the bottom. And then there's going to be an update to this version in a few days as well. Once I learn more things, I get better gear, I get stronger and stronger. You guys have seen this over the course of time. And I want to start doing the pinnacle bosses too. I just, it costs a lot to do them. It costs, over a divine, and I've been using this on gear, so we'll see. I'd like to do the Zesh boss, the breach boss next. Very cool. Have a good one, guys, and enjoy. I'm having fun with this. If you have any questions, just let me know down in the comments, and we'll go from there. Pretty cool. Or if I made any mistakes, let me know. I don't mind. Just tell me what I did wrong. And or if you have a better build for this, share it on Mobalytics. Share it up. I don't know. Whisper me in game at the Mobalytics link. I don't know. Somehow. It's hard to share links in this game, so we'll see. Have a good one, and enjoy, guys.